The lady told me that she didn't want to have to deal with that pain because that pain was just too much. That it made her feel ugly inside. It made her feel ugly on the outside. She felt like it happened to her because at the time that those things were happening to her, she was overweight. So she figured they happened to me because I was a fat kid. She says she remembers one encounter where she kept getting this rash. And her mom took her to the doctor. And to show you that the doctors didn't know any better, didn't have a clue either, the doctors told her mom that it was because she was too heavy, she was fat, she was chubby, she was chunky. You know, back then they had clothes that you could buy in the chubby section. And she had to wear the clothes in the chubby section, but they said it was because she wasn't wiping herself the right way. They said it was because she wasn't doing something right. So imagine that as a kid being told that she wasn't doing something right, when the whole while it was something else going on. Something else going on that she had to deal with. She said, you know, right now to this day, I can honestly say the one side effect that I still have right now to this day, she said, is I still take long showers. She said I get in a shower and I can spend an hour in a shower with no thought whatsoever about it. She said, because I'm cleaning myself. Cleaning myself because I want to make sure I'm clean. She said that thing made me feel nasty and dirty for years. She said, I know people who have never had to experience that could say a whole lot of things about it's your fault. You should have told somebody. You should have said something. But until you have been traumatized, you don't know what you would do. She said trauma makes you immobile. You can't move and you can't think and you just wandering around like you're in an outer space place. She said when that trauma happened to her, she could feel herself leave her body. She said that was her first encounter with God, her leaving her body. But not just her leaving her body, the mere fact that she saw him extend his hand out to her. He reached his hand out for her, and she grabbed onto it. At a time when she didn't even know anything about God, she was just a small child then. She said, but what I will tell people is this: you need to watch your children. You need to keep an eye on children at all times. She said because even after having those encounters at a young age of being molested just in grammar school, she met some little girls who were doing things to little girls that little girls should not have even known anything about doing, but they were doing them. You gotta watch who you send your kids to visit, where they spend the night at. Because sometimes in those rooms, different things take place with children. Children have been taught some things that other people have no idea about. So she said at that moment, being a little girl, still in grammar school, still dealing with being molested at home, now she's dealing with the little girls touching her, rubbing and feeling on her. Little girls her age that are in first and second grade just like she is, and they know about feeling on you. How do they know about feeling on you? How do they know about the things that they were doing? How do they know about those things? More trauma. Go ahead and say, oh my God, she said. Go ahead and say, where are the parents? Parents leave children to play with each other. Parents think that, okay, My kids are going to come over to your house. Your kids are going to be at my house. And we going to play cards. We going to listen to music. We going to drink. We going to do whatever grown people do. Because the kids got their own business. But every once in a while, you need to go check in that room on them kids and see what they doing. Pull the covers back. See what the children are doing. Because you'd be surprised at what children are doing to other children. But anyway, the lady went on to say that when she first talked to me, she forgot to mention the fact that before she could even reach high school, she had had these encounters already. That before she could even get to high school, I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me very clearly. And I want you to understand what she said, because she wanted to make sure that I understood what was being said. She got real close up on me, and she got real personal. So I'm going to get close up on you, and I'm going to get real personal. She said that before she could get to high school, that first pregnancy that she told me about, that rape that she told me about, well, that happened before high school. She told me that she was in the 8th grade and she was pregnant. Imagine that. And still nobody asked what happened. Imagine that. Still they all assumed that she was being fast. That's what she told me. She said, because that was the name that they gave you. You was being fast. You was being grown. You was smelling yourself, she said. Yeah, that's what they said. That's what they said. She said that behind losing a baby and having to get up a few days later and go to school and act like nothing had ever happened, that she experienced the part where you go through the 6 weeks of bleeding. And she didn't know nothing about that, but that's what she had to deal with. That's what she was left with. So now she got the molestation going on. She got the trauma of the rape going on. Her mind, can you only imagine where her mind is at? Where her mind frame was at as a young child whose growth has already been stunted because of the actions of somebody else. She said, I felt so ugly. I knew I was ugly. She said, I knew I was ugly because this could only be happening to somebody that was ugly. She didn't know it was other people out in the world that this had happened to or was happening to. She thought she was the only one that was dealing with this. The only one. And she knew it had to be because she was ugly. She said, do you know how long I walked around feeling ugly? She said, I never wanted to take pictures because that meant that they would see how ugly I was. She said, anytime I met anybody, even if I thought they was going to be a long-term friend, I would tell them about all the things that I had done. Because during that time, she said, I was very promiscuous. Yes, I was. She said, during that time, my self-esteem was so low. Before the children came, it was still low even after the children came. But before the children came, before that next pregnancy at 17, and before that next pregnancy at 21, and before that next pregnancy at 25, she said, I'm going to tell you what my self-esteem was. She said, and I hope in telling you where my self-esteem was, that you don't cry. Because I don't want anybody to cry. Because to me, if you cry, you feel bad for me, she said. And I don't want you to feel bad for me. Because I did enough of feeling bad for me myself. She said, I thought that I wanted to be a prostitute. What? Do you know what happens to prostitutes? Do you know what they do to people on the street? This is what I said to her. I said, oh my God, are you kidding me? Did you do that? She said, everybody else was already saying that's what I was. Remember, I told you about all the names they had for me. They was already saying that that's who I was. So since they was saying that that's who I was, I thought that's what I wanted to be. She said, but I saw a movie on TV. She said, at that time, all my children came on. We had all my children. We had Days of Our Lives. We had The Young and the Restless. We had General Hospital. She said, and on all my children, the star of the show at that time, she said, was Erica Kane. She said, oh, Erica Kane was the star. She said, but Erica Kane did a movie. And in the movie that Erica Kane did, Erica Kane had ran into a pimp, she said. She said, and when she saw what the pimp did to Erica Kane, how he beat her, she said he beat her. And when he beat her, and how her face looked, she said, even though I thought I was ugly, I didn't want nobody to beat me like that, because I was already being beat. She said, it changed my mind. I said, damn, thank God something happened that changed your mind. She said, yeah, it was God, because had I never saw that movie, where was I headed? Where was I going? She said, so I thank God. She said, you got to remember what I told you. I done had a lot of names. But one day I had a name change. She said, we only got a few minutes, because I know you got to finish up your route. She said, so I want you to go ahead and I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. She said, but I want you to tell somebody about my story. She said, I'll give you permission to tell my business. She said, all them other people been telling my business anyway. Been laughing at me. Been talking about me behind my back. She said, but you know what? Some of them very same people done had to come and ask me for advice. They done had to come and ask me about different things pertaining to life. She said, so we're going to stop here and I'll talk to you again later. But I want you to know that no matter what she said, God gets the glory. She said, no matter what, God helped me. She said, no matter what has happened to me, God helped me. She said, so until we can meet again, I'll talk to you